Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series. Today we pick up where we left off in episode 9. We are deep in the Ashlands and we are currently still trying to locate another fortress. So I've already cleared one, but we want more than one. So get yourself strapped in, get your favourite Ashlands gear back on again, and join me in our efforts to clear this world of all of these silly T800 looking skeletons and get us some more metal. Now, I have to say, by this time in the session, after all of this constant fighting and running and fighting and running, I was feeling about as tired as our protagonist here. So, those who are paying close attention will notice, in addition to all of the action and more action, it's having a bit of a detrimental effect on our equipment. Now, our primary one-hander there is at, I would say, about 30% of its starting durability. And that is going to potentially come into play later in this episode. But for now, we are left playing with lava blobs, who 1 minute want to explode and the next minute they're just ignoring us. Anyway. Now, up until here, we've been retracing our steps along the shoreline, but from this point forward, we are pushing on into unexplored territory. So the fights are going to get thicker and more frequent for a little bit. But, pleasant surprise, we found ourselves a Diverger camp. Now, you can pick these fiddleheads. That's not a problem. They don't own the fiddleheads and they're not going to come after you. If you try messing with any of the other stuff inside this building, though, you may get an unpleasant sense of they don't like you anymore. Now, these guys, as I've indicated in previous videos, they do get the raw end of the stick as far as survivability in Ashlands goes. And this camp, they're just 3 regular Divergers. So we may end up assisting their demise at a later date if we need more soft tissue. But for now, they get to live because that's a bit of a brief respite for us if we ever need it. Alright, after dispatching that tower using the ye olde long range method, we have found ourselves a Morgan cave. And I'm noticing that we have bone mass ready and available. So, anyone care to guess what's going to happen to this Morgan? Now, the place where the Morgan pops up does vary a little bit from cave to cave. I have found often that if you hug the wall, they usually don't pop out at you straight away. But in terms of exactly where on the floor you end up standing to trigger the Morgan is different from cave to cave. So if you stand on a spot that's triggered one previously, it may not necessarily trigger the one in the cave that you're in at the moment. So yeah, bear with that, but these caves actually aren't that big, so if you're really looking for a Morgan to beat up, it's not going to take any effort to locate them, really. I'm just pottering around looking at all of this lovely soft tissue that I have no room to pick up. This is probably one of your better supplies for soft tissue in Ashlands, is these Morgan caves. There's usually at least a little bit in here, but as you can see, my inventory is already chocked. So we have no room, and we have now triggered our Morgan. So, battle stations. Let's see what we can do to this fella. Yeah, turns out if you've got bone mass and you can back the Morgan into a corner that he can't get out of, Morgans actually aren't that hard. And that felt very therapeutic to beat the living stink out of that Morgan at such close quarters so successfully. Ah, yes. Anyway, back to the task at hand. We're having a bit of a wander through the rest of the cave. Once again, looking at all this beautiful soft tissue. I may need to come back down this way and get a portal set up down here, because it looks like this island that I landed on, it extends quite a fair way out in this direction. And with the amount of effort it takes to get from point A to point B, I'm not sure why I haven't already started setting up a portal network on this island to make it easier to get around, but I will be doing that in the episodes to come. Yeah, I did see that tooltip pop up, and when you're here in the cave, I mean, you can see that chest now, but in the cave at the time, it is pitch black. And I didn't quite pick up on the mouse over on the chest the first time round, but, as I said, it's only a very small cave. There's usually, I don't know, 0 to, I think, 3 or 4 chests is probably the most I've ever seen. It's a lot like the troll caves in that regard. Some troll caves just don't have any chests and hardly any loot. Some of them do have a chest or two. It is very much up to the lords of, the random number generator to work out exactly what you're going to come back with out of one of these caves. Yeah, the lava blobs have been busy today. And actually, so have the vultures. And so have the chard. It's just been that sort of a day, really. Oh, hello. There's another one of those summoning pillars. Let's go and beat it up, shall we? Have at it, you... Oh, hang on. What's that moving? Nope. Nope. Yep, nope. Nope, we're definitely hitting the nope button there. Those fallen Valkyries are, I would say, even worse than the Morgans. The Morgans, you know, sometimes you can deal with them without necessarily having to have bone mass, but fallen Valkyries at the moment, I'm going to say bone mass is almost absolutely compulsory. Unless, of course, you can find a few friendly Diverger to help you out, but as you can see, there's not a lot of them around in Ashlands. Now, this is the sort of period where having a, you know, portal out in the world would have definitely helped me out with my exploration. Not to mention, removed a bit of the urgency to my subsequent need to turn around and run back to base. For those paying careful attention, you'll notice that there is not a lot of durability left on my main weapon. And losing that main weapon, while it wouldn't be the end of the world, it's going to be a lot harder to deal with a lot of the chard without it. So, yeah, I don't want it breaking while I'm still out and about. So, yeah, we've done a 180 and we are running back to base. On our run back, we have stumbled across an opportunity for reading with Rob. Yeah, there's potentially a bit in there for all of us, but that was a especially long reading with Rob. So we're getting back to it here. We're running back to base, and we're ticking the note button again. I don't even think I've got enough left on my weapon to deal with a Morgan. But on top of that, we've got this 1-star Charred Warrior. So that we're not ticking that box. Ah, and then opportunity strikes. We have ourselves a couple of Divergers, and one of them is a 1-star. So I'm thinking, I may actually be able to deal with this Morgan. So we're going to give it a go. If it goes south, we can always keep running home. But I have a funny feeling our Diverger friends are going to make this a lot easier than I'm thinking it will be. Yeah, the marksman wouldn't be too hard to deal with, but I'm sitting on, almost single digit amounts of durability left on my one-handed mace. And, yeah, we're not home yet. Yeah, these storms in Ashlands, they make things visibility even worse than at night. So yeah, I didn't really bother trying to enhance the light levels. It just looked absolutely garbage. Yeah, that new food that we got, how much extra health did it give us? 15, 20 health over what we had before? Yep, well, it just saved my bacon because we got down to about 14 health. So, is it worth upgrading your food? Yeah, definitely. Very much so. Don't even question it. Just do it. Alright, we made it back to our portal safe and sound. We just got to put a bone fragment in the shield generator just to top it off. I always top them off every time I see them because it might be a while before I'm ever back this way, or I might be back here in 5 minutes time. Either way, it's one less thing to worry about later if you've topped it off and you're already in the best possible position. So that concludes our little run in Ashlands for this episode. I thought I'd stop in and check on our Askven farm. Now, this random chaos is pretty much what I come across after I've been away for a couple of days. There are some mature Askven in here, there are some eggs, there are some, hatchlings. Askven love climbing on top of each other. It's just obnoxious how much they'll climb on each other. Always make sure that you've got very tall walls or it's a roofed structure to make sure that they don't end up climbing over and getting out. The amount of health they have is pretty high. Even with the butcher's knife, you don't always one-shot them. In fact, unless they've already taken a bit of damage, generally you don't one-shot them. That's part of the reason why I've got the fires down so low and the pufferfish there to poison them regularly. As you can see, we are getting a lot of Askven hides and meat, and they are the two primary things that I'm looking for out of this farm. Little point of note, all three of the hit point foods, so the stew, the pie, and whatever the other one is, I've forgotten what it is, all of them use Askven meat. So yeah, it's kind of inevitable that you either need to set up one of these or resign yourself to killing a lot of Askven in Ashlands. Alright, and here we are at the end of the episode. I want to thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't forget to hit that little notification bell too. It'll let you know when I have new releases. In the meantime, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Have yourself a fantastic day.